What's up, YouTube? This is Mykel the Entrepreneur, coming back with some more entrepreneurial content. If you are looking to turn your passion into money by enhancing your hustle IQ, please subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button, also banging on that notification bell. Today, we are going to be talking about JOTForms. JOTForms has been something that I've been using for literally the past 3 to 4 years, not only to sell products, but to collect information to build my email list, hire and recruit staff. I've also used it to create surveys that I can send out to my customers so that I can find out, what products and what processes are working from a business and what are not working from a business. And I think that's really important for you as a small business owner. You need resources that actually can serve multiple purposes so you can milk it for everything that it has, and JOTForms is one of them. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna head over, take you guys into my actual computer. I'm gonna take you into my account. So when you go into JOTForms, just a quick disclaimer, there is a free version, and the free version is somewhat limited. You do want to make sure that you think about what is going to be best for your business, and I believe it goes off of the amount of submissions. So if you look here, you have a starter, which is free. You get 5 forms. You get a monthly of 100 subscriptions. This is the amount of space that you get, and then monthly form views. So that's the amount of people that you're expecting to actually open and see your form. So, and then it goes up from there. You have $24 a month, the silver, like all that. The pricing for it is actually really competitive for the amount of stuff that it does. Honestly, to be truthful with you, you can just hang out right here in this free version. And as long as you're a small business, so you're not going to have 25 different forms. So this kind of fits right up in where you want it to be. So you'll have 5 forms. If you don't like one, you can archive it. And then the one thing about JOTForms is that actually, once you've actually signed up for them, they'll send a lot of different, pricing discounts to 50% off, 15% off. So if I were you, if you start to see that, your JOTForms is actually popping off and you're getting a lot of, people, using your JOTForms, upgrade, but start here on the starter. I think for many of you guys is to be great. Okay. So what we're going to do is I want to show you guys all of the different forms, and I'm hoping that you guys get some ideas on how you can integrate this into your business, your small business. So you can start off from scratch, where it's just a blank template. You can start from, a template that they have, which they have tons and tons, thousands of templates. And then you can also import a form. So if you made like a PDF or something in a third party or somewhere else, you can actually import it. I like to use the templates because oftentimes one of the pre-made templates will already have something that I wasn't thinking about, or a question that was asked that I really like. So if you look over here to the left, you'll see that there is so many different types of forms that are out there. And if you want to see all the categories, you can go into that, but it's just so much. Sign up forms, feedback forms, request forms, booking forms, applications. So you can use this to recruit your team. You can use this as, event registration. So it doesn't have to be obviously in person with COVID, but if you want to actually put together a webinar, like your business is consulting and you want to put together a webinar, you could do it through JOTForms. So you can have that information and build your email list through that. Another registration form or order forms. And that's the one that we're going to be doing right now. Cause I know most of you guys most likely would want to sell a couple of products and send that out to, not only friends and family, but potential customers. So let's go into this one. We're actually going to use this form. And the cool thing about it, you click on it, it'll show you a preview of it, but we're just going to go ahead and use this template. Everything you're going to be doing to edit this form is going to be in the browser. So you don't have to download any software or anything like that. You don't have to have extra space on your computer. None of that. It's all going to be online. So that's great. So the first thing I like to do is, number one, I just want to go in and I want to add my logo, because I'm very big as a graphic designer on branding. So I'm going to use my logo, put it up there. One thing you can do is if you have a ping, so you'll see my logo, this one doesn't have, it's not a ping. So meaning the background is still there, that white background. So it looks a little weird, but for the sake of me just showing you guys this, I'm doing it. So you could change the dimensions. It's locked right here. So that's just letting you know that it is locked. And then I wanted it to be centered aligned. And then if I want to change the background, so form designer. So if I wanted to not have this gray, I can go in and kind of change and mess around with it, make it different colors or whatever. I can make it white. Then I can go into the styles. If I wanted to actually make it like a picture or something, I can go in and do that. Styles, so you can go in and you can really customize the form to make it look the way you want it to look. Themes, I already have pre-designed themes. So like I said, if you wanted to put a picture in the background, that's kind of what it would look like. but I'm the type of person where simple is the best thing for me. So I'm not gonna go and mess around with any of that. I'm just gonna kind of keep it the same for now. But I would, if I was making an actual form for myself, I would want to upload my actual ping. Another thing, so the good thing about it is whatever you upload into JotForms, like let's say you upload like my logo, for example, or anything else like the products or pictures that you put in there, it's gonna automatically save it into your JotForms. Now the space is limited, so just make sure you're aware of that. Depending on the actual account that you have or subscription that you have. So now we're just gonna scroll down. Everything on here is I can edit. So I can change this if I wanted to. I could put down, you know, something here if I want to. The product. So this is just basically saying I haven't set up for this particular form. I have not set up my PayPal. So the good thing about it is I'm not setting up my PayPal to my entire JotForms account. I can set it up to each individual form itself. So I could have, you know, one JotForm that is connected to this PayPal, or I have another JotForm that's connected to another, which I really like because when you have multiple businesses, or you know, you want to keep things a little bit separate, it makes it a lot easier for you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the actual editor or the manager of the store. So if I wanted to change something, I would just go here. So this is like the different, you can add coupons if you want to, you can add shipping, you can add tax. So if you want tax to automatically calculate based off of your region, you could do that. Invoice, wouldn't really use that if I were you, but you can go into the settings, you can create a new product. But if you wanted to edit a product, then you would just click on this. You can change the name of it. You can change the price of it. You can add a description of it. If you have multiple angles, so let's say you do, you know, cupcakes, or you're a baker, you took multiple macro shots or micro shots of, you know, a cookie that you made where you can actually like see the sugar on it or something, I don't know, and you can upload those in here, and you'll have multiple views or multiple pictures of that product, just to make people, you know, want to entice them more to purchase it. So if you want it to automatically scale, so when people hover over it, when it's actually in the when it's live, when people hover over the actual image, it is scale in for them. If you want this to be required, which I wouldn't, because it is a store, you don't want to make it to where they have to purchase, unless there might be something like, let's say, you know, you're doing a sports team and they have to have, you know, a complete uniform, or a basketball team or whatever, you want them to make sure that they actually order one of each. You could do that as well. So that's where you would do that. You want to select this as default? No. And then you want the subtotal? I say yes, because people constantly, even myself, when I'm shopping online, I constantly check, you know, my subtotal, just so I know, like, okay, like I'm over budget, under budget, that kind of thing. And then this is cool too. So if you wanted to add a quantity selector, so you want them to actually be able to select how many of the items that they want. And then in addition to that, you actually can go in and give discounts and give special prices for the amount of orders. So people do want to feel like the more that they buy, the less that they have to pay. So you can knock a couple dollars off. So I'll go into this so you can see, but let's just say I want it to be the range 1 to 10. So I want people to only order from 1 to 10 of that product. And then special price and quantity, let's say I do want to add that. So instead of it just being $1, $2, $3, $4, I can actually go in and say, hey, I'm going to give the best deal for if you get 3, you know, so I'll make it, you know, $2. So you buy 2 and get 1 for free. So that's kind of the idea of that. So you can actually go in and customize this however you would like. So yeah, that's amazing for you to have, you know, when it comes to the products. So it's really cool. You can also add in, I didn't show you, but you could also add in the colors, and you can add in, you know, the sweater sizes, all the different sizes. You could do that as well. So now let's move down. So that is going to be like basically the store of your JotForms. And I like to have it at top for me, because that's the first thing that people see. And then after that, you get into all of the information. So the full name and all this information is tailored to what you want. So you can take this out if you want to. If you don't want this to be full name, you can have it just be their first name, or you could just have it just be their email. I suggest you have their name, but let's just say for you, that's not what you want. You can customize it. So you can go into this menu right here, and you can add ultimately whatever you would like for your customer to actually fill out when they are going through your JotForm. Now, when we talked about for your store, for this, I wouldn't want this to be like mandatory, obviously, because you want them to actually be able to pick and choose what they want. But let's say all this information, you do want it to be mandatory, you want it to be required, so they can't submit this JotForm to you or submit their order without it being like mandatory. without it being required, you can go into here, and then down here you can put required. So they can't submit this form without filling out this, and it'll prompt them and say, hey, you need to go look at everything that has a red asterisk and complete it. So it's really great to have. You can put it in the center, you can set it as a default, you can change the names on the bottom. So this subtitle right here, you can change it. You can say customer's name, or whatever you wanted to say, you could put it there. Options, you can go in, add middle name, prefixes, all that good stuff. Advanced, just you could play around with it. The good thing about JotForms is it has the basics, but then it also has little things like this to actually allow for you to customize your JotForms to make it the best for you and your business and fit your business's needs. So I could go in more and kind of talk about each of these individually, but I'm not. I feel like, once you guys actually sign up, you guys can play around with it, use some of the templates as much as you can. This right here, I know I talked about it earlier, but this right here says that you have not set up your payment. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to show you guys how it's done. So you would go in, you would click in here. These are all the different options on there. And I'm pretty sure, someone's going to say, hey, I know what PayPal Pro is, or I know what eWay is, or I know what PayU is. So you just, depending on what you are using, that's what you're going to use. That's the type of payment method that you would want to use. And you would just go into payment, you would go into payment settings, and you would set up and connect your PayPal account. So literally, this is amazing. So we talked about quite a few things. Number one, we talked about, why JotForms would be beneficial for, your business. Number two, we talked about, what are the different types of services that it can offer and how much it costs. Number three, we actually went in and we looked at, how to actually build one of the forms. And then now we're going to talk about how to share it. So after you've once you're done actually creating your form and you're ready to share it, you can go into publish, and this is the quick link that you can use. You can copy it, and then you can share it, text it, email it out to people. There's plenty of websites out there where you can actually change this and customize this and make it a whole nother URL. So whatever URL you want it to be, you can actually embed this into another URL. I could do another video about that later, but you can go ahead and do that. You can also turn this into a QR code, so people don't see JotForms or whatever. They actually can see just a QR code, and then they scan it with their phone. So just there's so many different ways that you can do this. So this is probably the easiest way, and then you can also embed it. So if you have a website, and we all know, and if you don't know, you will understand that when you actually have a website and you want to add a store or a feature to it, there's a lot that the web hosting websites ask for up front when they're setting up, your store. So it's really important that you have a resource like this, because you can actually take this form and embed it into your Wix account, your WordPress account for free, and now you can still collect payments, or you can still sell items. So it's an amazing resource for you to have. You can also, like I said, email it. You can download it as a PDF. So many different things you could do. So now let's go into just previewing it. So now that we've done it, we're going to preview it and just see what it looks like. And if you like what it looks like, you can actually look at all of the different types of devices that people will be viewing it on. Obviously, the most viewed would be on a cell phone, so you can look at it in both ways and see how people will see it. Tablet would obviously be the second way, and then desktops would be the last. Most people will not be watching or seeing your form through this method. Before we get into the last portion, I want to show you guys just the analytics, and the analytics alone, it's worth the money for this service. So once you actually make this live and you send this out to people, you can sit back and come into the analytics feature. And I'm a numbers person. I love to look at numbers, but you can actually see real time on what's happening with this actual form. So you can see, the device that it was opened up on, you can see the platform. So this is all data that you can look at as a business owner and say, hey, okay, so my traffic is coming from these places. This is a great tool for you to utilize once you've actually made this live. So I'm going to go back real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys a couple of other things that you can look at to manage this form once you've actually made it live, and just manage and look at all the different resources for this form or the forms that you create. So now let's go back to this drop down menu. We want to look at more. So you can view the submissions. So the cool thing about that, we're going to go into the submissions, and the good thing is it's already defaulted to where it's going to send you a notification once someone submits one of the job forms. It's going to notify you via your email and say, hey, this person has completed the form, and it'll give you a quick snapshot of the information. So it's like real time. It's happening right then and there. So right now we're going to look at the submissions, and right now obviously we don't have anything because it's just a dummy test. But once you start getting people filling out your form, you're going to start getting a whole bunch of information here. So you're going to see what products. And the good thing about this, you guys, hold on to your seats. The good thing about this is you can actually go in and you can download all of it. You can turn it into a Excel sheet, and you can create. And once I get something in Excel, I can do a whole lot with it. So I can, pull all of the contact information. You can run some reports on, what products you're selling, what products aren't. So this is just really good for you as a small business owner to actually hone in on what things you're selling and control and create your own database for information that's going to help you make better decisions about your business moving forward. So this alone, honestly, this paired with actually, being able to watch the analytics real time of the forms is amazing. Even though it's free, the free version only lets you see five forms, but to be able to get that type of feature for 5 different forms is amazing. My channel is focused on getting resources to you as a small business owner to help you not only start, but manage and grow your business into, what you want it to be. If you feel like you found value in this, you're actually going to use this resource, please put JOTForms in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next one.